So we got to talk about Letitia James because there have been some receipts that have actually been dropped, and I want to talk about it a little bit. But before we get into that, she's definitely not having a great time with these new allegations levied against her because she recently spoke, and I'm gonna play the clip of what she had to say, and let's just say this: it's pretty damn corny. Check it out.
And we've got to stand together, a stand-in community, stand with this great organization under the leadership of our civil rights leader, Reverend Al Sharpton, who has been a light, a bright and shining light in the darkness. But I don't know about you. It's that stone of hope that inspires me each and every day. And listen, faith and fear can never share the same space. And so I'm covered by the blood. And I'm not afraid of Donald Trump. You can come after me, but no enemy, nothing formed against me will perish. Nothing formed against me. Nothing formed against me. Nothing formed against me.
Oh man, boy, I cannot wait to watch her go down for this. Sam Antar, hopefully I'm pronouncing that name correctly, recently went on to Newsmax, and let me tell you something, this brother right here, he brought the receipts. I'm just saying, I don't know if she gonna wiggle out of this one. Let's dive in.
All right, we have a great guest tonight. Sam Antar is a forensic accountant who has a very colorful past we'll dig into here in a bit. He is the man that dug all of this up on Letitia James. He's the source of all this information. Sam, thank you so much for joining us here on the set.
Thank you for having me on, sir.
You're a New Yorker. You live right down the street, and this is some fantastic work here. I want to start and get into just the specifics first. Starting with this Virginia property that she claimed as her primary residence while she was, I mean, this is Norfolk, Virginia. This is probably a 5-6 hour drive, claiming it's her primary residence while she's the AG of New York. From your report, you say James signed a specific power of attorney declaring her intent to make 604 Sterling Street in Norfolk, Virginia, her principal residence, a legally binding statement that may have automatically vacated her position as New York Attorney General under Public Officers Law 30. A declaration that came just 45 days before she launched her case, her civil fraud case against Donald Trump. Tell us more about what happened in Virginia here.
She purchased a property with a relative. It was in 2023, a few weeks. She closed
2 years
on,
ago, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
She closed on it right before the Trump trial. And in the filed documents with the county clerk's office, there was a power of attorney that she gave her cousin or niece to close the mortgage.
Yep.
And on the power of attorney, she represented that I intend to use this property as my primary residence. Now, there's two problems with that. The first problem is she lied on a power of attorney. Would anybody really believe that she was going to move to Virginia in the middle of the Trump trial? Second part is there's Section 6 of the mortgage that states that the borrower, meaning her and her niece, have to occupy the property as their primary residence within 60 days. Not one or the other, both.
Wow.
She at least never occupied it. Right. That's
and what was the motivation to do this? Why lie?
Lower interest rates.
Lower interest rates.
I'd call her a petty thief.
A petty thief. This is, I mean, this is, when you look at the allegations she made against Trump, is this act worse, better, same?
Well, no. Listen, Trump is not a real felon. I'm a real felon. Okay, so so Trump didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. You don't see anything wrong in the case you made against Trump. You think, I mean, obviously the jury here thought that he did something wrong.
Well, listen.
It seems like what every developer has ever done.
You should have listened to the appellate arguments because the appellate judges seem to be. It seems like they're going to write an opinion that's going to vacate the entire case.
Yeah. Boom. Okay. Yeah. It's because it obviously was. We were all astounded by what they charged him for that. That penalty was ridiculous. I want to move on here. Let's talk about Brooklyn, New York. This is.
So yeah, the man behind a lot of this, Sam Antar, just laid it out there. And it's interesting because it's basically the exact same thing that she accused Trump of doing. Kind of weird how that works, isn't it? Pretty weird how that works, and quite hilarious if I do say so myself. But another thing that I want to get into is I don't even know who this guy is. I've looked around. I don't know if this is the Daily Caller themselves or if this is somebody else. This isn't James O'Keefe, but they took a trip to that property that's in question to ask the person that was living there some questions, and this is how it turned out. Check it out.
Hi there. I'm a reporter with the Daily Caller News Foundation.
You're trespassing.
I'm sorry.
Trespassing. My kids are out here.
I understand. We mean no trouble. We're just curious who the occupants of the home are,
Don't
because
worry
there's
about who's occupants. That's none of your business.
well there are connections to
Okay, but
New
you're
York Attorney
trespassing.
General Letitia
That doesn't
James.
matter. You're trespassing.
Are you related to
You're
Letitia James?
trespassing. Don't worry about it. You're trespassing. Go in the house.
Do you know
You're
Letitia James?
trespassing.
No? Okay.
You're trespassing.
No comment. Thank you,
Don't
ma'am.
come up to my house no more.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. You have a good one.
It's gonna be problems.
You
can
will.
record all you want.
Be well.
There's a car parked in the driveway.
Hello there, ma'am.
Comment, you're trespassing.
No comment?
Yeah, you're trespassing.
Okay, well, who lives here?
You're trespassing.
Who lives here, ma'am?
No comment.
No comment.
Notice they both said the same thing. No comment. You're trespassing. And there was a sign up at that second property as well. I don't know if y'all caught that. Like right on the front lamppost. Let me see if I can find that again. That moment, right? Right there in the frame. Boom. No trespass. Like, who puts up that kind of sign on their front lamppost like that? Like, that seems to me like that was just recently done because of everything that's been discovered. You know, there was some communication that happened, and people were maybe told, hey, if somebody comes, you just tell them no trespassing. Because they both said the same thing. Isn't that interesting? Like, I don't know. Maybe a coincidence. Y'all tell me what you think. But, yeah, man, I think she's going to go down for this.
Well, the tables have turned. New York Attorney General Letitia James, who on Valentine's Day of last year posted this message to President Trump. Roses are red, violets are blue. No one is above the law, even when you think the rules don't apply to you. How sweet. But, she's in some hot water. The U.S. Federal Housing Agency is sending a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi to investigate James for alleged mortgage fraud, for allegedly, in multiple instances, falsifying bank documents and property records to acquire government-backed assistance and loans and more favorable loan terms. President Trump commented on the news, having this to say. James, a totally corrupt politician, should resign from her position as New York State Attorney General immediately. Everyone is trying to make New York great again, and it can never be done with this wacky crook in office. Ooh, Krisha.
Alex, the irony is unbelievable here because Letitia James, she also thinks she is above the law. Full disclosure, I actually was running a campaign with Michael Henry, who ran against Letitia James, and she hasn't changed a bit. All she wants to do is get Trump and try to destroy this administration, but she's not going to be able to do it with these receipts. They're pretty incredible that she's trying to basically, as we were talking about before, falsify documents, which is what she was accusing Trump of doing. And ultimately here, she is so out of line. This is why local elections, in this case it is, matter because they affect the entire country. And what we're seeing with Tish James, not surprising. Democrats think that they are just, they can get away with everything, which they have for quite some time. But Tish James may be finally.
It's complete karma that she accused him of falsifying documents for favorable bank terms. She listed, according to the court report, court documents, Virginia as her legal residence when she's the New York Attorney General, and according to some reports, even listed her father as her husband.
Yeah, that is crazy. Listed your father as your husband. I think I've heard of another Democrat doing that as well. But the one thing about this whole entire situation that I don't think enough people are paying attention to is the fact that because she allegedly had her residence in Virginia, she technically could not be the AG for New York. And if that is the case, then the entire case against Uncle Trump is about to be thrown out the window.
What's that old Marxist saying? Accuse your enemy of what you're doing, as you're doing it to create confusion, it's projection, and that's all they know. Just yesterday, we learned that a criminal referral was sent from the Department of Federal Housing to the Department of Justice on Letitia James. That's right, Letitia James, the Attorney General of the state of New York, who spent the last 4 years prosecuting Donald Trump for anything and everything under the sun. And as a matter of fact, at the exact same time that Letitia James was civilly prosecuting Donald Trump for what they claim was mortgage fraud, she was actively engaged in mortgage fraud herself, according to this criminal complaint. But more than that, this criminal complaint details a pattern of fraud going back all the way to 2001, including falsifying residency to be able to claim a primary residence in a state that she doesn't live, which, by the way, is a violation of New York law. If you're going to be an attorney general or an elected official in the state of New York, you're required to live in the state. And yet she purchased a property in Norfolk, Virginia, and claimed that that was going to be her primary residence for the purpose of securing a lower interest rate. And then the second claim in here details misrepresenting property descriptions, going all the way back to 2001, where she claimed that a 5-unit apartment complex was 4 units to make it a conventional loan for the purpose of securing lower down payment and a lower interest rate. So just to be clear, in 2022, Letitia James filed a civil suit against Donald Trump and secured a $450 million judgment against him, claiming that he defrauded banks by undervaluing Mar-a-Lago for the purpose of securing a better interest rate. And yet she was doing the exact same thing. And she was doing it at the exact same time. She was literally prosecuting Donald Trump for the same thing at the exact same time. But I think Letitia James needs to answer a really important question. New York state law requires that you live in the state in order to be an elected official. And yet she purchased a home in Virginia. So is she even eligible to be the Attorney General of the state of New York, since she declared on financial documents that she was living in Virginia? So I guess, Madam James, no one is above the law.
Yep. No one is above the law, including an AG. Okay. But, yeah, man, this is really going to be interesting to watch this play out, because I think that she has to be arrested for this. She has to be. If Trump and his administration or Pam Bondi do not arrest her for this, once Trump is out of office, they're going to keep coming after that man. They're not going to stop. If this is all true, she allegedly was doing the same exact thing she was trying to throw Trump in jail for at the same time. If that doesn't show you how bold Democrats have become, then I don't know what will. You're literally trying to throw a man in prison for the exact same thing that you're currently doing, allegedly, of course. So if this is all true, she has to go to jail. She has to. She has to, she has to, she has to. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no way around it. She must go to jail for this offense. Otherwise, Trump is going to have hell on his hands. And honestly, if Pam Bondi and the crew don't go after them, I can't really feel bad for Trump once he leaves office and they go back after him. He knows this. He knows this. So if he does it, then I'm just like, well, bro, you kind of brought this upon yourself. Like, you of all people know who these folks are. You know, like, you went through it. We all watched it, right? But you actually went through it. So if you don't spin the block and return the favor when you find out some corruption going on their end, then when they come back for you, that's just on you, brother. You know, I rock with you, Trump, all the way, big unk. But if you don't arrest them, and let me know if y'all agree. If the Trump administration doesn't arrest them, doesn't start arresting people like Letitia James, amongst others, right? Joe Biden as well. Then when Trump leaves office and they go after him, I can't feel bad for him. I can't feel bad for Uncle Trump. I really can't, because we knew this was going to be the outcome. Anybody with 2 brain cells to rub together knew that was going to be the outcome. If you don't arrest them for the crimes they have committed, they're still going to come after you. Maybe I'm just a harsh individual. I don't know. Y'all let me know how y'all feeling. But I hope she goes down for this. She has to, because I don't want to see them go after Uncle Trump. We all watched it happen enough, including multiple attempts on his life. So yeah, this must end, and this can be the beginning to the end, right? her going to prison amongst other folks as well. But y'all let me know your thoughts and your opinions on this. Thanks for tuning in as always. Peace and love. I'm out.